everyone, it's Chris. Welcome to my parlour, or my kitchen slash parlour, because today I'm making my first lot of bath bombs. This bath bomb is in honour of Kay. If you had seen the video that I had put up, I did delete it because I just wanted it up there. I just wanted to express myself, and I expressed myself. I put it up for a couple of days and then I took it down because I wanted to not have everybody know everything. It was just something that I needed to express about Kay, who passed away yesterday. And if you did watch that video, you know her passing was controversial, but it's been legalised here in Australia, or in Adelaide, since the beginning of the year. So it was a long process. It's not as easy as people think it is. You have to go through a long process. You have to visit doctors, you have to visit psychologists, you have to have social workers, and you have to be of sound mind to make the decision. And Kay did make that decision. She was with her partner, my friend, M.A. She and I have been friends for a long time. And we just sort of hit it off. We're sort of like soulmates, M.A. and I. And her partner was in a lot of pain. And she made this decision, a controversial decision. So I won't mention what that is, but you may understand what that might mean. And she passed away yesterday with Marianne at her side, peacefully. She just fell asleep. And it was something that took a lot of strength, a lot of self-love to do that, and it's not easy for anyone. So I do not want any comments about that, please. This is about my bath bombs, and this is honour of Kay, because I need something cleansing now, and I thought, why not make a bath bomb and make it in honour of Kay. So I'm making a rose bath bomb today, and I'll be using it in my bath in a few days when it's hardened, and it will help clear my aura and make the process of grieving easier as well, because I did know Kay not very well, I must admit, but we were on speaking terms, and we spoke quite a few times, and I spoke to her too on Friday about everything that was happening. So I promised to look after MA as well. So here I am. So I've got all the ingredients ready and measured out, except for the oils and the extra rose water that I'll be using. I did make the rose water myself, so I'm working out how to use that. So it'll be interesting. This is my first time to making bath bombs, guys. I am following the basic recipe from this book. And I have halved the recipe because citric acid, a main ingredient, an essential ingredient really, is very expensive. So the amount of citric acid that I needed in halved the recipe took up 3/4 of this bottle of citric acid. It cost me $5.10. So it's a very expensive ingredient, one that is very necessary, but one that is quite a big utilised efficiently. So I did halve the recipe, so I don't know how many bath bombs this will make. I also have bicarb soda. That cost me $3.95, but I got a big 1 kilo box of that for that price, which is quite good. I got some Epsom salts, which cost me $5, I think. I'm not too sure how much this cost me, but it wasn't all that expensive, and I got 1 kilo as well, so that's not too bad. Witch hazel, which is a very important ingredient as well, that cost me $7, but it's going to last quite a while. I've also got some olive oil, some rose water for fragrance and for a bit of colour, and a spritz bottle of the witch hazel for the blending. So that'll be good. And some roses for the decoration of my bath bombs. I'm just going to be making it white, and we'll see what happens. So this is a very basic bath bomb, nothing fancy. I didn't think I'd be up to something fancy. So the first thing I've done, as I said, I halved the ingredients. So, got 1 cup of bicarb. So 1 cup of bicarb. One cup of bicarb. 1/2 cup of citric acid. And 1/2 cup of Epsom salts, which need to be blended through. And I don't actually order this. I do have my spoon, so I'll blend that through the sieve. That's just to remove any lumps and bumps. I don't think I need it, but it's not an essential part. So if things fall over the edge, it won't matter so much. Just blending it through the sieve. So it's not an essential part, but just gives them a bit of a uniformity. My beautiful glass bowl, guys, isn't it gorgeous? I found this at Savers ages ago. Well, you know, when I was staying with my daughters. And oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And just the right size for this recipe. Remembering this is halved. Stirring clockwise. I'm just giving a bit of a stir here, but stirring clockwise to bring in positivity. I think this is probably the longest process of the whole lot. Good enough is close enough. I think close enough is good enough for that. Now that's the ingredients put into the bowl. Now I need to add any dry ingredients, herbs and glitter and things like that, which I don't have any herbs or glitter, so I'm not adding those. Oh, what else do I need to do for that? Herbs and glitter, which I'm not adding. Now sprinkle in my colour, which I'm not using. My fragrance, which will be the rose oil. And that's usually about 1/2 teaspoon, which is around about 15 to 20 drops. So 1/2 teaspoon of rose oil. Well, it's rose water actually that I actually made. So adds a beautiful colour, doesn't it? Fizzing is normal apparently. Just cover it with dry ingredients. Oh, that's a gorgeous colour. Adds fragrance and colour, as you can see. Stir it in. It will stop that fizz. Blend it all in nicely. I will show you how to make rose water if you so desire, how I make it. There are so many different varieties, excuse me, out there on the internet. about how to make rose water, but I found this to be, I've tried some of them, and I found this one to be the easiest and most long-lasting. So that's that one. Changing over my whisk, guys. The other one just broke. So there we go for that. Then start mixing all of the ingredients together, which I've just done. Make sure all the colour and fragrance is thoroughly mixed. Occasionally the colour may clump in little bits, so you will need to make sure that all the colour has been incorporated evenly, and I do believe that has happened. So everything is nicely mixed, all the dry ingredients and the colour and fragrance, which is what I've wanted to accomplish, and it has been accomplished. It's a lovely pink. You can't quite see it from here, from where you're viewing this, but it's a beautiful pink colour. Lovely mild pink colour. So distribute any clumps of colour between the palms of your hands, but I'm just using the mixer here and it's working quite well. Now the tricky part. It says the tricky part, binding the mixture together. If you're using an oil or butter, add this now to your mixture. Okay, I'm adding some oil. I'm adding my olive oil here because it's the cheapest option available to me at the moment, which is the olive oil. So I'm adding 1.5 teaspoons of olive oil. This will be interesting, guys, because this is the tricky part. 1.5 teaspoons. Let me get my teaspoons. One teaspoon. Half a teaspoon. Step 9. Now that's done. The next step is spritzing it with a spray bottle. In this case I have witch hazel. Spritzing it however much you need, and start using my hands now to mix it all together. Spritzing as necessary to add to its clumps together like moist sand. So that depends too on how much you need. It depends on how fast your mixture crumbles and clumps together. At the moment it's starting to clump. Bear with me, guys. I'm right-handed, so I'm clumping together with my right hand and spritzing with my left. Use as needed. It feels really nice. Can you see what I'm doing here, guys? I'm just blending it all together. Hoping this is going to work. Not quite ready yet, because you squeeze it and see if it clumps together. Not all of it's clumping together just at the moment. I don't want to activate the mixture before I'm ready to mould them. So a bit more, I reckon, but it's all trial and error. We all know it's trial and error. So how much more? It's my first time I've made bath bombs, so I'm not quite sure if that's enough clumping or not enough clumping or just too much clumping. I think they'll do this bit here will be the last lot of spritzing that I do, and I'll start moulding, I do believe. Oh, that beautiful pink colour. Absolutely gorgeous. So now I'm going to start moulding, guys. I've chosen a couple of bath bomb moulds. The one I'm going to be using in honour of Kay is my roses. So I'm going to bring it over here, change over, guys, so you can see the moulding process. I'm going to add one rosebud. It's such a deep, deep red. It's almost black. Isn't it beautiful? So that's going to go in one of them. And a couple of sprinkles. I'm only going to be doing a couple of them because I want this to be another project as well. So now it's time to mould them. And you put them mould around and press down as hard as you can, as firmly as you can in the moulds. Working as quickly as you want. Well, I think you need to do it fairly quickly for it sort of remembering that this is the one that has the rosebud in it, which is the one I'll be using in the bath when I do the activation process. So I want to show you what they look like when they activate as well within the bath. I've only got a small bath. So that's enough in this mould, I think, for what I want the purpose of. I don't want to make too many because I don't know how the staying power is, how so I'm leaving them in there now, and you can leave them in there for at least 24 hours to harden, and then you can pop them out. So the next little mould I want to be using are these little moulds. And I'm going to pack them in as tight as I can as well. These are quite a flexible mould, so it might be a little bit too flexible. Don't know. First time making bath bombs. Packing as firmly as I can, filling them to the top, which is what I want to achieve for another bath bomb experiment that I wanted to try. So I'm experimenting as I go along, and some of them I will show you as I finish them as well. So you'll be seeing my experiments as well, and as well as some demonstrations of the bath bombs as they are, making bath bombs. And if my experiments work, you will see the process of that as well. I'll be showing you how my experiments work. So they're fairly well packed. Again, I'll leave them for 24 hours. Quite well packed. I don't know how firm they will be. I did not add corn flour. Some people add corn flour as an addition to I'm not exactly sure. I think I understand that corn flour is used so the bath bomb doesn't fizz as quickly, and you have a bit of time to watch it fizzle, so it doesn't fizzle all at once. I think that's what the corn flour does. It's like, you know, a thickener too. It thickens the mixture, so it sort of helps with the texture, and it doesn't make the bath bomb fizz as quickly as it would without corn flour. But I've chosen not to use corn flour. Corn flour can be irritating for some people, and I don't want to add that to my bath bombs. I just want to add the basic mixture. Now, we know that company that owns the right to say that they invented bath bombs. They may have invented the name of bath bombs, but bath bombs is a chemical reaction of the bicarb and with the citric acid and the water. It's like bicarb and vinegar. You know what the reaction is with bicarb and vinegar. It's very similar with the citric acid and bicarb, and when it's activated with the water, it becomes the citric acid becomes liquid and activates with the bicarb, and that is a chemical reaction and one that cannot be owned. So the name bath bomb could be, yes, we could say that, but the chemical reaction belongs to everybody. So these are my my idea here of how to utilize that chemical reaction to make these items. They're all nicely packed in, nice and tight. They're already starting to firm up. So I think I got the timing okay. It just depends on whether or not I got the mixture prepared correctly or enough to do that. So this one's got the rosebud in it, the almost black rosebud with a few little rose petals that have been dried. I did add the rose water, which I made myself. I did add some olive oil, which is the cheapest version for me at the moment that I can afford to utilize, because everything else is quite expensive. This has probably a quarter. I could halve this recipe again with enough citric acid to utilize that recipe, so I might do that next. Otherwise, I'll need to find myself another source of citric acid, which I can at the Adelaide Market, Central Market. They have a store there where I can buy citric acid by the kilo. So I will check that out at a later stage if these ones work out. So that's my first go at making bath bombs, guys. So when they are dry, I'm going to give them, because it's so cold here, I'm going to give them 32 hours to dry. So by the weekend, I will have my first bath bomb ready to explore and activate in my bath. So hoping to see you then, guys. So until then, bye.